Homicide Gang just released their new album Snot Or Not. Opium has been doing really no like marketing for this one, but with this and If Looks Could Kill probably coming out next week, there is kind of a lot of hype behind this as this kind of is like a maybe not throwaway project, but like kind of just one to hype up their tour and to do all that. And this is such an interesting project because there are a few different things from like their normal sound, and I think it's not just the super grimy sound that they have on their normal tapes. And just Michi and Bino, I don't know, of course Bino takes a lot of this stuff from Michi, which is super weird, but I think Michi, in my opinion, sounds a lot better on this tape because there are a little bit of a switch up in sound, at least on some of the songs. But let's go song by song. ADHD, the production on this song is really solid, and I love the drums throughout the song, but I hate the tweak out throughout the song. It's just so annoying, and Michi just sounds so much worse than Bino on this one. Bino really carries the song with a pretty solid chorus and verse. The tweak out, though, throughout the song just makes the song so much worse. I don't know, it's just so annoying to me, and I feel like would either get more or less annoying on repeat listens. It's chill though. Homicide Language, the production on the song is pretty generic, and I feel like it's nothing special. Michi actually sounds a bit better than Bino on the song because he actually brings some energy, but the way his voice is mixed in just sounds a little weird over the beat. And it's just a super generic song that I feel like could be really solid with some actual energy from the both of them. Fire, the production on the song is pretty interesting and cool, but I feel like again Bino doesn't come in with any energy, and his flexion throughout his entire verse just sounds so stupid because it sounds like he's saying the like lines in weird ways just to make it sound a little different. Miji sounds so much better in my opinion, but again his verse is also super repetitive. Wants and Needs, I really like the production on this song, even though the 808s come in just extremely hard, but I think Bino actually sounds good on this one. Michi sounds pretty solid also and really works on this beat. I like Bino's flow on the chorus, and it works greatly with the production. TNT, the production on this song, is also kind of interesting with the guitar sample or loop, and I feel like both Michi and Bino do their jobs. There's just a little to be left for the potential of the song, as the song is kind of super short and could be extended. The production on the song is okay, but I feel like it just doesn't really fit Michi and Bino, as they're more of this super grimy kind of rap with a lot of energy, and the beat on this is just a lot more fun and upbeat. The flow of the song is just kind of boring too. Then we go into Snot Shit. I really like the production on this song, and I feel like they're both pretty solid with the energy they bring on this song, but I think they're kind of definitely carried by the production, because the production on Snot Shit is really good. The production just kind of keeps their energy up through the entire track, and it works really well. Dive In, the production on this song is super laid back and just, in my opinion, doesn't work for a Homicide Gang album. It really just ruins the best parts of their album, which is when they bring a lot of this energy in this. They have this super grimy sound. Michi sounds terrible on this song because they just mix his voice in really badly, in my opinion. And Bino's voice sounds so much clearer on the song than his. I don't think it's a bad song. It's just super boring though, and just doesn't work in my opinion for the Homicide Gang sound. Uzi Work, this song is such an interesting grimy vibe, and I feel like the production fits Homicide Gang perfectly, but the energy from Bino is just not there. Michi brings in good energy and sounds a lot better than Bino, but he's in the song for like 15 seconds, which is so dumb because he sounds like so much better, but then it immediately goes back to Bino, who just sounds okay, nothing special. To the Face, the production with the piano sounds really interesting. I feel like it's a departure from the rest of the production, but I think it sounds pretty solid with the 808s. Bino just doesn't bring the same energy on any of the slower beats on these, and he just doesn't sound as good. The song actually gets a lot better after Michi's verse, and Michi sounds great on this one, and then the production kind of ramps up after that, and Bino also sounds good on his last chorus or whatever it is. Either way though, it works a lot better after Michi goes through. Then we go to Blockwork. I really like the production on this song, but I hate Bino's verse on it because he just sounds so slow, and then he brings absolutely no energy to the song. Michi sounds a lot better because he actually brings energy, and I think he sounds great on this one as well. I mean, I feel like he works so much better because he's so much more versatile than Bino is, and it's just so weird because I feel like Bino, in my opinion, only sounds good on these super grimy beats where he brings a lot of energy, versus Michi can actually sound good on other things because his voice isn't just like that super grimy sound that Bino has. I don't know, it's really weird, but But yeah, I think the song is kind of ruined by how slow and stretched out Bino's part is on the chorus. Flight's book, the production on the song sounds really tuned out and doesn't bring that same energy again. And I just don't like the slower beat, especially when it doesn't sound very like energetic, but it also is just like it just doesn't sound like a Homicide Gang beat, and that's kind of the part with it. Everything on this song just sounds slow, and while that can work for other artists, in my opinion, Bino's voice only really works for the super grimy beats. Michi also, though, sounds really solid on this song, and I feel like he can fit a lot more of these songs and styles, which is really weird because, Bino, of course, is the main guy here, and it just seems like whenever they're actually doing any songs, Michi just gets put to the side and he doesn't really get any big parts, which I think is weird because I feel like he could be the better rapper, but I think Bino actually does sound really, really good when they have a good grimy beat and he brings in a lot of energy. But when they're switching up the style to like these a lot slower stuff, I just don't think Bino sounds as good as Michi does, and I feel like Michi is the better artist. And when they're giving him these like 15-second verses and all these other things, it just doesn't seem like Homicide Gang really cares about him. It seems like it's Homicide Bino and Michi is his sidekick, where like the sidekick is still doing stuff, but it's not like he's the main guy on the album. I don't know. It's super weird, and I think overall it just doesn't really. I don't know. Homicide Gang hasn't really been giving me the same vibe when you actually like look into it and you see that Michi is like the better artist and he can rap on so much more stuff, while Bino is kind of just relegated to these super grimy beats, but he gets the whole thing. He gets the chorus, he gets the verse, and Michi just either gets a really small verse or he just like won't even really be a part of the songs like over the whole thing. And it just seems really weird because they're not really like a group. It's like, yeah, the main guy and then the sidekick. But in my opinion, Michi sounds a lot better than Bino on a lot of these songs, and they just completely put him to the side. Either way, though, I think this album is interesting. To me, it's pretty average just because it's just such a mix of sounds and characteristics, and it just doesn't give me the same Homicide Gang energy when there's like 6 songs on here that don't have that same vibe. And Bino, the guy who's on basically all the songs, like 75% of all the lyrics are him, just doesn't sound good on half these songs because they're a departure from his main style. So I don't know. I'm hoping they can, change it up later, but I feel like Bino really, to me, is relegated to one type of sound. And I feel so bad saying this just because it's like, yeah, he can only stick to one sound, but I don't know. I don't like the rest of his stuff. Either way, though, Homicide Gang, Snot or Not, to me, is a pretty average album, so I'm going to have to give this one a 5 out of 10.